What do dreams look like to you? If you would, try and remember your latest dream. What do you remember? Maybe a specific event or a feeling? Hunger, fear, joy? Whatever it is, it's probably personal to you, or at least something that was already lurking in your mind. Lots of media likes to portray dreams as being completely nonsensical, devoid of all meaning and logic. In truth, however, dreams are just your subconscious manifest. Sure, rules can be broken, and fiction is no longer separated from fact, but you never create anything completely new. You'll never see a new face or a new color. Only faces and colors where they shouldn't be. Then, in a flash, it's all gone. Usually gone forever, unable to be remembered. And if it is remembered, it's in a haze, a fog, a blur of colors, shapes, sounds, and feelings. How would you portray that? I mean, really, think about it. Would you show a dream with 4K clarity? No, you wouldn't. Personally, I'd say dreams look something more like this. Believe it or not, this is not a Nintendo 64 game. No, this is an indie game that I thought I missed the boat on, but no, it's only about 2 to 3 months old, depending on how fast I get this video done. It's currently only available on Steam, and for an incredibly small $5 price tag, you'll get one of the best 3D platformers you can find, nostalgic or not. Forgive me for starting on the obvious, but I've genuinely never seen a video game so perfectly capture the aesthetic of N64 Rare games. To anyone who's played Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, or Conker's Bad Fur Day, I can show you this one singular texture, and you know what I'm talking about. Couple that with a forced 30 FPS, default 240p, and 4:3 aspect ratio, and good lord, we have a game that so perfectly captures this aesthetic that I can so easily imagine this on a real cartridge. Except for these mirrors. Those are real mirrors. The N64 was not doing that. Some of the most interesting aesthetic choices for me have to be the things that N64 games probably could have done, but oftentimes didn't. The color palette of this game gives such a unique vibe befitting its dreamy setting. The hues of purple that fill the skybox create such a unique vibe that I honestly have a hard time comparing it to anything. The character designs have a wide range of styles going for them. The two main characters have a slight Invader Zim edge to them, while the enemy designs look straight out of any 90s platformer. Sock with shoes, by the way, is the most perfect creature of all time. This game has done a lot to reinforce my biases when it comes to older visual styles in video games. There's genuine artistry here. Sometimes a clear picture isn't the way to go when designing a world. Peering into this little box and seeing an entire world come to life like this just isn't something that could be done the same way through modern visuals. Genuinely, I'm so glad we're getting indie games that are embracing retro 3D looks now, because I think they've gone underappreciated through the years. I mean, look at which games get remakes all the time. PS1, PS2, N64, GameCube. Those seem like the usual cases where devs and fans both think something needs to be corrected, yet fairly often, a lot of the charm and love is lost when bringing art forward like that. People like to look at these early 3D visuals and think to themselves, oh, they just couldn't do any better at the time. And like, yeah, no, they couldn't, but I mean, we've all heard this saying, you know, limitations breed art, so you know, I just think there's something to be had. There's something valuable here that just, well, at least indie games are seeing the value in it, right? To get back on track, I know these totally tubular graphics won't sell everyone on the game, so I'm going to tell you all about this radical game and its bodacious gameplay. So, believe it or not, the moveset and level design isn't all that similar to Rare games. I'd compare the moveset to Klonoa sooner than Banjo or Donkey Kong. See, in those games, and a lot of others now that I think about it, you have a lot of different moves you can perform, whether through button combinations, stick movements, wave dashes, etc. You get what I mean. Sev here really only has two primary actions, jump and horn drill. He does have more things than that, but those two actions are how you're going to interact with 99% of everything in the game. It's one of those instances of design brilliance where you think, oh, of course, why would I need 5 moves when I can use 1 move and do it all? I can't help but respect when a game only needs 2 buttons to operate, and it still produces so much depth from its gameplay. This horn dive too, man, I tell you man, it's an impressive piece of game design. It does it all, platforming, fighting, interacting with the environment. It really is the equivalent to Klonoa's grab, which had similar use. I especially want to highlight its use as a drill, which makes you mash to spin and undo screws and such. It just feels so good to do this. I love it every time. And the way different enemies interact with the horn, some of them getting stuck on there and becoming a temporary part of your toolkit, oh my god, it's so cool. I also want to mention how the dive has the perfect amount of auto-correction when flying at specific things. It strikes a good balance between player responsibility and generosity. I like the wall jump too. It takes some getting used to, but it's very freeform in its use, making scrambling around the levels a fun and thought-provoking exercise when combined with the horn dive. Speaking of levels, I might be misusing a plural here. For the most part, the game is actually one big level, sectioned into different areas. Well, I say big, it's about the size of a Donkey Kong 64 level, but it's so packed that you won't feel shortchanged. There's a lot to do here, and even more secrets to find. You want to be doing all these things too, because you'll find that the single collectible in the game, experience cubes, start to feel few and far between. You gotta really think and observe the environment to even find half of them. I'm telling you, some of these are cryptic. Luckily you can find bigger drops of them after bigger quests and the secret levels, which are very evocative of Mario Sunshine. Odyssey! Fuck you, James! But yeah, the game is really just finding enough cubes to face the final boss in Platforming Gauntlet. Speaking of, gotta love when platformers give you a level as a final challenge and not a boss. It's almost always more satisfying, and considering Mario has been doing it for years, I'm gonna assume this is scientific fact. Anyway, for $5, all this content will more than meet anyone's wants and needs. However, that's not even it. There's a lot more to find after the final level, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that, because this is that top secret shit. That schoolyard shit that had you up at night. Just like this song that keeps playing with different instrumentations depending on where you are in the level. Yeah, onto the music, I have exactly 3 things to say about it. 1. Wow, this bops! It sounds like the MIDI instruments that are used are the exact same ones that actual N64 games used at the time. 2. Oh shit, a lot of these songs weren't even made for the game. The game creator paid indie musicians to use their songs in the game. That rocks, we love artists supporting other artists. And 3. Holy fuck, get used to hearing this rhythm and melody. You know, the other day I saw someone say on Twitter that they think this game's writing is cringe. To them, I say, shut up! I love the game's writing and dialogue, it was funny! And I didn't even have to turn on my cringe inhibitors. The world and characters are funny and charming in a very casual way. Like, I don't think they're even trying to be quirky, it's just a fun and goofy time. To be perfectly honest, if I wrote a game or anything, it'd probably have this vibe.
You brought back marijuana? Great. Now I'm gonna have to come up with some other lore to tell random strangers.
How's about the tale of the great hero Sev who saved Marijuana?
Nah, I think I'll go with that time I found the whole nickel in the toilet.
Anyway, after all that, I don't think I have that much more to say. I don't have a huge thesis statement on this game other than the fact that, oh, it's so perfect at capturing a dream. Which it does, you know, I mean, it is, like, this is how dreams look, in a sense, you know? N64 visuals, PS1 visuals, they have a very dreamy quality about them. Look, this game deserves your time, attention, and money. The only thing I can't put into words is the special sauce this game has. There's just this feeling you get when you're playing, like, a really quality video game that has a true vision and aesthetic that maybe one day I'll be good enough at writing to actually put it into words, but for now, I'll just say, buy the fucking game. You have to have the money on you for this. If you're wasting your time watching no, I'm not gonna say that. But seriously, buy this game. I promise this is something special, and it will be a new favorite for sure. Stay corny!